In professional basketball, loyalty is often promised but rarely delivered. Franchise players become more than athletes. They're symbols of hope, identity, and pride. Fans wear their jerseys, chant their names, and build memories around them. But what happens when those heroes walk away? This isn't just about trades or free agency, it's about heartbreak, betrayal. The pain of watching a beloved star leave for more money, a title shot, or a fresh start. No matter the reason, the outcome is the same: a city left stunned and fans mourning the loss of someone they thought would stay forever. And we begin with perhaps the most controversial move of them all: Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's path through the NBA has been nothing short of electrifying and divisive. A once-in-a-generation talent with a nearly unstoppable offensive arsenal, Durant has worn the mantle of both hero and villain, depending on which jersey he was wearing at the time. But his move from Oklahoma City to Golden State, and his later exit from that very dynasty, framed him not just as a player chasing greatness, but as one seeking the path of least resistance, only to vanish when the spotlight no longer served him. Durant was drafted second overall in the 2007 NBA Draft and began his career with the Seattle Supersonics. When the team relocated to Oklahoma City, becoming the Thunder, Durant carried the franchise's hopes on his back. From 2009 to 2016, he didn't just meet expectations, he shattered them. Night after night, he dazzled fans with his scoring brilliance and composure under pressure. He became a four-time scoring champion, earned the 2014 NBA MVP, and secured 7 All-Star selections, all while forging a deadly partnership with Russell Westbrook. He led the Thunder to the NBA Finals in 2012, and every season after that, the team was viewed as a legitimate contender. But year after year, they fell short. The final blow came in the 2016 Western Conference Finals when OKC blew a 3-1 lead to the Golden State Warriors, a collapse that left fans heartbroken and doubters circling. Then came the moment that turned KD's legacy on its head. In July 2016, Durant announced he was joining the Golden State Warriors, the same team that had just beaten him, the same team that had gone 73-9 that season. To fans, it felt like betrayal on the highest level, like watching your hometown hero switch sides to the enemy the day after defeat. Yet, on the court, Durant delivered. His time with the Warriors was nothing short of dominant. He played like a man possessed, efficient, explosive, and in complete control. He helped Golden State win back-to-back championships in 2017 and 2018, claiming Finals MVP both times and putting up historic performances against LeBron James and the Cavaliers. But even as he racked up accolades, there was a lingering sense that something was missing. Golden State was never fully his team. The emotional core belonged to Steph Curry. The locker room voice was Draymond Green. And when Durant and Green clashed during a heated game in 2018, Green questioned Durant's loyalty in front of the world. The cracks became impossible to ignore. By the time the 2019 NBA Finals rolled around, Durant was battling injury. He returned in Game 5 only to suffer a devastating Achilles tear, an injury that many felt could have been avoided with better handling. That summer, without fanfare or farewell, Durant left the Warriors and joined the Brooklyn Nets alongside Kyrie Irving. No thank you press conference, no final goodbye. Just another chapter closed, quietly and cleanly. He left Oklahoma City when they were one step away from glory. He left Golden State after achieving the ultimate success. Both times, the exits felt less like evolution and more like escape. Durant's career has been defined not only by brilliance, but by the bridges he's chosen to leave burning in his rearview mirror. Kevin Durant's moves weren't just about basketball. They were about control, about legacy, about the power to choose his own path. But in chasing the perfect situation, he left behind 2 franchises that had believed in him, nurtured him, and trusted him to lead them to greatness. The numbers he posted told the story of a dominant player, but the emotions surrounding his departures, those told a different tale, one of frustration, confusion, and betrayal. For all of Durant's greatness, his journey to glory was paved not just with unforgettable highlights, but with the ashes of bridges he chose to burn.
Kevin Durant's not going to be on the Thunder anymore.
Why?
He signed with another team.
I hate him. I'd punch him in the face.
Kyrie Irving, the double betrayal. Kyrie Irving's career has been a dazzling highlight reel of dribbling wizardry, clutch shots, and offensive brilliance. But behind the crossover moves and buzzer beaters lies a story far messier. A story of broken promises, emotional exits, and two fan bases left questioning everything they once believed. It all began in Cleveland, where Kyrie was drafted first overall in 2011. LeBron James had just left the Cavaliers for Miami, and the city was in shambles. Kyrie became the fresh face of a franchise desperate for hope, and he delivered. Early in his career, he showcased an elite scoring touch, a flashy handle, and a willingness to carry a team that was still reeling from LeBron's departure. He won Rookie of the Year, became a multiple-time All-Star, and earned the city's full devotion. Then, in 2014, LeBron returned. Kyrie had just signed a 5-year max extension, pledging his future to Cleveland. Instead of resenting the spotlight shift, he leaned into the partnership. Alongside LeBron and Kevin Love, Kyrie helped deliver something that had eluded the Cavaliers for half a century: a championship. His dagger three-pointer over Steph Curry in Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals instantly became one of the most iconic moments in basketball history. But just 1 year later, everything changed. Despite playing for a team that had reached 3 straight finals, Kyrie requested a trade. He no longer wanted to play in LeBron's shadow. He wanted to lead his own team, to be the face of a franchise, not just a co-star in someone else's story. The request blindsided everyone: the fans, the front office, even LeBron. Cleveland had given him everything: the contract, the freedom, the spotlight. And in return, he walked away. The Cavaliers, with little leverage, traded him to the Boston Celtics in 2017. In doing so, the hero of 2016 became a figure of confusion and disappointment. Boston welcomed Kyrie with open arms. The Celtics, a storied franchise with a rich championship legacy, were poised for another title run. With rising stars like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Kyrie appeared to be the final piece of the puzzle. During a fan event at TD Garden, he stood in front of thousands and said the words that would soon haunt the city: "If you guys will have me back, I plan on re-signing here." But those words didn't last. The chemistry never quite clicked. Injuries derailed momentum. And when the Celtics made an inspiring playoff run in 2018 without Kyrie, pushing to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, murmurs began to grow. Some wondered if the team was better without him. When he returned the following season, expectations soared. But instead of leading, Kyrie seemed increasingly distant. His mood soured, his leadership faltered, and then, without much warning, he was gone. In the summer of 2019, Kyrie left Boston in free agency. No farewell post, no thank you message, just silence. He signed with the Brooklyn Nets, reuniting with Kevin Durant and leaving Celtics fans stunned and bitter. Twice Kyrie had been embraced, twice he had been trusted, and twice he walked away without looking back. His on-court brilliance is undeniable, but to the fans in Cleveland and Boston, Kyrie's legacy is forever shadowed by what felt like a double betrayal. LeBron James, the decision that shattered a city. LeBron James wasn't just a player for Cleveland, he was the chosen one. Born in nearby Akron, he was a hometown legend long before he ever stepped foot on an NBA court. When the Cavaliers selected him with the first overall pick in 2003, it felt like destiny. LeBron wasn't just joining a team, he was becoming the heartbeat of a region desperate for hope. For 7 seasons, he delivered excellence night after night. He won MVPs, he shattered records. He took the Cavaliers to the NBA Finals in 2007, a historic first for the franchise. But the glory never culminated in a championship. Despite LeBron's greatness, the Cavaliers failed to surround him with the support needed to win it all. By 2010, the weight of unmet expectations became too much. On July 8th, LeBron made a decision, literally. In a live ESPN broadcast that would go down in infamy, he announced to the world, "I'm going to take my talents to South Beach." And just like that, the city's heart shattered. Fans rioted. Jerseys were set on fire. Cavs owner Dan Gilbert released an open letter condemning LeBron's choice, calling it a cowardly betrayal. The emotional rupture wasn't just about basketball. LeBron had been theirs, he had been family, and now it felt like he had walked out without warning. In Miami, LeBron flourished. Teaming up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, he finally reached the NBA mountaintop. Over the next 4 seasons, he captured 2 titles, 2 Finals MVPs, and cemented his place among the all-time greats. He became what Cleveland had always dreamed of, but for another city. The wound back home remained open. To many in Ohio, it felt like he had turned his back on the people who loved him the most, when they needed him the most. But LeBron's story with Cleveland wasn't finished. In 2014, he returned. Older, wiser, and ready to finish what he started. 2 years later, in 2016, he led the Cavaliers to their first NBA championship. The comeback from a 3-1 deficit against the 73-win Warriors was miraculous. The city rejoiced, forgiveness flowed, redemption was complete. And yet, even with that championship, the pain of 2010 never fully disappeared. The decision had changed something, not just in LeBron, but in how fans viewed loyalty. They learned that even the most beloved player could leave, that even a hometown hero could break your heart. LeBron fulfilled his promise. He brought Cleveland a title. But the emotional scar from that first departure still lingers in the shadows of his greatness. Klay Thompson, the quiet exit from a loud dynasty. Klay Thompson was never the loudest voice in the room. He didn't seek attention, nor did he crave the spotlight. But on the court, his presence spoke volumes. For years, he was the Warriors' quiet storm, the unshakable sniper whose quick release and defensive tenacity made him the perfect complement to Stephen Curry. Together with Curry and Draymond Green, Klay helped transform Golden State into one of the greatest dynasties the NBA has ever seen. For a long time, Klay represented everything the Warriors stood for: resilience, humility, loyalty. But the dynasty, like all things in sports, began to show its cracks. In the 2019 NBA Finals, Klay tore his ACL. Just as he was preparing to return, he ruptured his Achilles. 2 devastating injuries, 2 lost seasons, and an uncertain future. And yet the Warriors stood by him, offering a 5-year, $190 million contract, a gesture of belief that few franchises would have made. When Klay finally returned in 2022, the emotions were overwhelming. The fans cheered, the league watched, but the game had moved on. Klay was still Klay, but not quite the same. His agility had dulled. His shooting was inconsistent. His minutes were cut, and for the first time in his career, he found himself coming off the bench. The front office called it strategic. Steve Kerr tried to soften the blow, but to Klay, it felt like a quiet demotion. The joy that once defined his every movement faded. The quirky interviews disappeared. The bond with fans, though still strong, felt strained. Behind the scenes, Klay grew restless. His role was shrinking. The franchise he had once helped build seemed to be moving on, without him. Talks of a contract extension stalled. The Warriors hesitated. They had younger talent to develop, new rotations to consider. Klay, aging and diminished, was no longer part of the long-term plan. And so, when the offseason came, he made a decision that stunned the NBA world. He walked away. There was no grand send-off, no emotional press conference. He signed with a new team, one that offered him a bigger role, a fresh start, and perhaps more importantly, the feeling of being wanted again. For Warriors fans, the departure was painful. This was Klay Thompson, the man who once dropped 60 points on 11 dribbles, who tore his ACL and still came back to shoot free throws in the finals. But his exit wasn't bitter. It wasn't about vengeance or anger, it was about closure. A quiet goodbye from a player who had given everything, and in the end realized that home had changed. Klay didn't just leave the Warriors, he left behind a version of himself, a fearless shooter, a defensive anchor, a piece of a dynasty. And as he turned the page, it was clear this wasn't just a business move, it was something much deeper. A silent ending to a legendary chapter. Ray Allen, the sharpshooter who shattered brotherhood. Ray Allen's shooting form was poetry in motion. Every release was precise, every shot effortless. Before the league fully embraced the three-point revolution, Ray was already its prophet, lighting up scoreboards and changing how defenses operated. But for all his professionalism and precision, one choice in his career shattered more than just records. It shattered friendships. When Allen joined the Boston Celtics in 2007, it marked the beginning of a new era. Together with Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, he formed the original Big Three. And their mission was singular: bring a championship back to Boston. In 2008, they succeeded. Allen's smooth stroke from deep and unwavering poise under pressure helped define that title run. For 5 seasons, the trio played with unity, grit, and purpose. But winning hides cracks, and time reveals them. As Rajon Rondo grew into a star, tensions started to rise. Rondo's fiery personality often clashed with Allen's calm discipline. Coach Doc Rivers eventually moved Ray to the bench, handing the starting role to Avery Bradley. For a future Hall of Famer and key piece of a championship team, it felt like disrespect. Then came the contract talks. Boston's offer was underwhelming. 2 years, $12 million. Meanwhile, the Miami Heat, fueled by LeBron James, Dwyane Wade, and Chris Bosh, extended a lower financial offer but with a bigger role and a clearer vision. They had just defeated Boston in the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals and were hunting another championship. Ray had a choice: stay loyal to his brothers or chase a chance at glory in enemy territory. He chose Miami. To outsiders, it looked like a veteran making a strategic move, but to Boston, it was unforgivable. Kevin Garnett cut ties immediately. Paul Pierce voiced his disappointment publicly. The Celtics weren't just upset that Ray left. They were furious about where he went. Miami wasn't just another team. It was the rival, the one they were built to beat. And now, Ray Allen was one of them. Allen, ever composed, stood by his decision. It wasn't about money, it was about respect. And in 2013, when the Heat were staring down elimination in Game 6 of the Finals, it was Ray Allen who delivered. That iconic corner three, cold, perfect, legendary, rescued Miami's title hopes and cemented his place in history. But that shot came with a cost. Ray Allen was never invited to the Celtics' 2008 championship reunion. The bond with Garnett and Pierce never fully mended. Despite his professionalism and accolades, one decision, one jersey, defined how many of his former brothers saw him. He didn't leave Boston for a paycheck, he left for a voice, for clarity, for one last moment under the brightest lights. And in doing so, Ray Allen became the living reminder of a painful truth in the NBA. Even the tightest brotherhoods can crumble when ambition knocks loud enough.